All right, today we're back in the barn. It's a giant mess right now because I had to move everything towards the center, because today we're actually going to start insulating the barn, quote unquote insulating. I've got some packages here of spray foam, and so what we're gonna do is try to put it only on about 1 inch thick. And my goal with that is only to kind of fill in all of the little cracks that when you look at a wall, you can kind of see daylight coming through. I don't want that to happen. So anywhere you see daylight coming through is kind of where you can see air is gonna get through, water can get through. You know, if you have a crosswind, it's gonna blow wind through the gym in the middle of the winter time. And so that's not good for when you wanna lift in here. It's not good for keeping it warm. So what we're gonna do is just start filling up these cavities the best we can, the best that I can with the spray foam, and then we're gonna put boards actually over top of that. I went down to a lumber yard, got a bunch of rough cut lumber, some stuff that's super cheap, but it's gonna look really, really cool when it goes up. And hopefully that will seal off most of the barn and give a much warmer experience to working out here in the wintertime. So let's get after it. So we're gonna spray over this door as well. I just have it sealed shut right now, because right now it's just going to be, or act as a wall. I'm not gonna mess with it, turn it into a door until a couple of days later. So I'm gonna leave some gaps on the edge where I'm gonna put these 2x4s on so that I can run wood over top of it. So it'll be foam on one side, then we'll be able to run wood over top of it. This plyboard or particle board already makes kind of like a decent base that I can put the other siding on, the stuff that I use on the outside of here, to kind of make it match the outside and then make it look like a little bit more of a sturdy and good door. But it's already kind of bolted up there. It already has hinges on it. Why tear it down? Why do something new? So I'm just gonna spray over it and then patch it up afterwards, and we'll still be able to come in and out of here. To prep for this, anytime if you're using spray foam, if you're gonna do it yourself, those kind of things, they recommend wearing some kind of Tyvek suit, which is really, really smart, because when this stuff gets on you, it's gonna cure up pretty quick, and it's super sticky, and it is almost impossible to get off. So I'm gonna be wearing a Tyvek suit, a mask over top, and then it's got a hood, gloves, so that pretty much all of your skin is covered. You do not want to get this stuff in your hair. You're gonna be shaving your head if you do. So full suited up, we're gonna go completely covered, or as covered as we can, try to keep this stuff off of us at all times. Okay. All right, so every time that I finish a wall or get it about where I want to, I'm gonna take a step back away from it, take a look at the wall, and see if I can see any daylight through what I sprayed. So the actual spray foam over the meat of the wood isn't the biggest part of my concern. Like, I can still see some of the wood through some of the foam. It's the area where the two planks join together, right? That's where the cracks are at. That's where the large amount of wind and penetration is going to come through, is in between those cracks. So I want to make sure that all those are sealed, and then when I step back, like if I look at this wall over here, I can easily see like where light's getting through. I don't want to see any of that once I finish the wall. So again, trying to be super conservative with how much I spray on each wall. I don't want a ton on there, but making sure at the same time, if I see a spot where light's coming through, to get in there and kind of fill in that crack just a little bit more. Okay, so got to a point where I'm filling in one of the gaps here in the walls, and there's a pretty big spread between two of the boards. You can see a ton of daylight coming through, and I could probably dump enough spray foam in there that it's gonna cling to each other and then fill up that gap. But what I really should do is go on the outside and just put one strip across there, and that's something that the spray foam can kind of hold on to, and that way, when you look from the outside, it's not like it's just this 2-inch thick chunk of spray foam that's kind of stopping wind and rain and all that from going in. One thing I think I didn't mention before, why I'm only trying to spray to 1 inch, one of those reasons is cost, obviously. This stuff's really expensive, but you can see it's pretty simple to put up. So I could get this whole gym, or my whole barn, pretty much spray foam in maybe 2 hours with 1 inch covering. So that's really good. And this stuff's, like I've mentioned before, closed cell is gonna be waterproof, it's a fire retardant, and wind barrier and vapor barrier as well. So but it provides only an R value of 7 per inch. So that's actually really good. If you had a smaller space and you were to fill up this whole cavity, let's say that's 4 inches thick, you'd be at an R value of 28 at 4 inches thick, which is a lot better than a lot of fiberglass insulation. Plus, like I said before, it's waterproof, windproof, vapor barrier, all that good stuff. And it actually adds a little bit of structural stability to whatever you're putting in, because this stuff is gonna expand and then harden up and make sure that every little crack is filled in. So we're gonna go actually put a board on the outside of that and then kind of finish spraying over some of that and hopefully finish off this wall here. All right, so we got pretty much everything spray foamed, a little bit left to do there. Pretty happy with how it went. Again, taking a look back, I can still see a couple areas where I'm gonna wanna go run back through and kind of touch up. Anywhere I can kind of see daylight coming through is anywhere that wind is gonna come through. So that's purely the focus here. Remember, always wear your PPE with this stuff. If you're gonna get any kind of spray foam kit. I popped the mask off at one point, and if you wait too long, like if you set the hose down and kind of wait to do something, that can dry up in the nozzle really quick, and then you get a clog, it doesn't spray right, and you wanna make sure that you have some kind of width on the spray, so if it just goes down to a stream, then it doesn't apply kind of how you want it to. So I didn't really prep well with setting it down after one point, replaced my nozzle, and then didn't pop the mask back on. Always wear your mask. This stuff smells kind of funny. I'm in a big barn too, so it's a little bit different. I'm not in an attic. I'm not in a small barn. So the fumes and that kind of stuff I don't have to worry as much about, but always wear your PPE, glasses, be covered from head to toe. And then next time, so once all the foam is up, we've got everything insulated, we're going to go ahead and start throwing up that rough cut lumber. So we're going to start putting up some joists to bolt it to or to screw it into, and hopefully get everything that you see with foam covered up with wood. That's going to add another layer of insulation, another way to pretty much cut wind down, and then it's going to keep the look and the feel, the ruggedness that I love of this barn going. The one glaring thing on this back wall that I look at in terms of being able to see daylight is obviously right up in that corner. We got some huge spots where that tin's at, and on the outside there's actually another overhang, like another roof, so there's another kind of section of the barn on the other side of this wall. So getting to it is gonna be really sketchy if I wanna bolt it up from the outside or patch it up from the outside. So what I'll probably end up doing is actually just patching that up from the inside. That's a short-term fix, not long-term. So the inside's gonna give me something to spray the foam to adhere to, and it's still gonna fill up the cracks. But what I don't like about that is when it rains, if it's patched on the inside like that, water's still gonna be able to basically like drip down on the inside. So at some point I'll want to go on the outside and patch that up properly. So those gaps are gonna be way too big to just fill up with the spray foam. I'm gonna have to go out there and do a little bit of work. If you guys got any comments on anything, if you saw something in here that looked cool or that you've got advice for on how to make it a little bit better, go ahead and throw it down in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time.